smoking on Whitley. Park out screaming out for help. Hand shot instantly. It ain't no fear, no.
And those words sealed the fate of Charles McCormick. Hey, it's your sister Rolande, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about the guilty verdict that Hakeem Robinson, aka Ksoo, and Leroy Whitaker, aka Scotty, received yesterday in Jacksonville, Florida. So, as you can hear, we've been smoking on Willie. Head shot instantly. Got Charles McCormick, aka Lil Buck, put out balloons in the sky for him because, and it was said in the trial that he was like soft. So I guess he wanted to make a name for himself, and he most likely didn't have anything to do with when it was. I believe it was the father, his son, his two sons, and two other people was in a vehicle, and somebody pulled up on them and shot all of them, and Willie died. Willie is the, I guess you could say, stepson of Abdul Robinson Sr., and he was the half brother of Abdul Robinson Jr., who they call Kareem. So, I guess McCormick wanted to jump on this thing to make a name for himself, and this is what got him killed. Not only that, too, because he was when they heard the diss track, and then they all of them got upset. They started stalking him. He was posting stuff on Instagram. That's one of the main reasons what got him caught up, because he went on vacation, posted he went on vacation, and posted that he came back from vacation, and that's when they decided to put that plan in motion. Yeah, we're gonna get him. And with the father, with the father, you know, turning state's evidence or snitching on his son, in my opinion, I don't believe he didn't know about what they were going to do, or when he picked them up, that's when he found out. I don't believe that. I don't think he knew that they were going to be so sloppy in caring and how they went about taking the life of McCormick. They were very sloppy, and that's one of the reasons how they got caught. Because even before that, it was so many things that happened that they should have just nobody even say. I don't think we should do this. Well, kind of Dominic Barner say, hey, I don't think we should do it in the plaza because there's a Publix right there, and Publix always have police. But they were so hyped up, especially Hakeem was so hyped up, to get this over and done with. He still decided to do it in broad daylight, even though they had planned. All that planning went to nothing because they stopped this guy. Already planned they was going to do it in an apartment complex, probably because if they did an apartment complex, the response time would be a little longer. They would have gotten away. But with doing it in broad daylight with a Publix and a Plaza, that was crazy. So whether the father did cooperate or didn't cooperate, Dominic didn't, you know, tell. Queso was still cooked. He was never getting out. He was gonna go to jail, and he already have another case with Adrian Gaynor. I don't know when that case is gonna go. About, come on, Queso was already cooked, but I don't believe the dad didn't know. Because he already, he picked them up. He picked them up in his orange and red car, the Dodge, but he had a white Chevy Impala that was in his name, that was his daughter drove, that he switched cars in. Well, how would you know that the car was going to be available? Okay, if your daughter drives it, how would you know she wasn't going to take the car that day? But in my opinion, they planned to say, hey, I'm going to use the car. Don't take the car. You need to go someplace. Get another car. So he knew. The thing is, with the father is that he was ready and willing to take the charge when he thought he was probably going to get 5, maybe max 10 years, because he's used to doing 10 years. But when the state decided to charge him like as he actually did the crime, like in with all the planning and all the stalking, when they decided to charge him as the principal and he could face life in prison, he was like, F that, I ain't going to jail for y'all. Then he decided to snitch. Like the defense said, that's not the first time he's done that. He's done that before. He's snitched on people, and so he can get a reduced sentence. But this time he sacrificed his son. He sacrificed his son to achieve that. So he has already served, I believe, like 5 years already. So just like they say, within maybe a year, he'll be out. He'll be. I don't know where he's gonna go. I don't know. Maybe he can't go back to Jacksonville, but he'll be out. And he was like, oh, because he have health issues and because he have little kids and stuff like that. Oh, please, you wasn't even there for those kids, because before those kids, I think he had did when those kids were born. He wasn't even there. The 6 year olds, he wasn't even there. He was serving time. He was never there for most of Hakeem's and Abdul's life, because he was always doing some type of jail time. So he never formed any fatherly bond with them. There was no actually fatherly bond. So to turn on them, that was like second nature to him, because he didn't have a bond with them, because he was probably never in their lives. This is why, when the father doesn't actually live in the home, he just have these kids. You have 11 kids. He doesn't have that bond, that fatherly bond with his children. So it's so easy just to turn on his son, to implicate, yeah, this is what he did, this is what he did, so he can get a reduced sentence. Yeah, like you didn't know you were sick. You didn't know you had smaller kids. You didn't know you had smaller kids. You didn't know you had somebody pregnant at the time. But you still decided to get involved in this when these young men got caught up in this taking out of Little Buck. He knew. I believe he knew. He knew. He just didn't know they was going to be that sloppy. That was so sloppy. You already planned it. It was a lot of stuff. Somebody came. This brown guy came with his baby mother's car, and then they missed Charles McCormick, because they were sitting there for hours waiting for him. And then this is the thing, McCormick, you did this track, and then you got caught slipping, and you wasn't watching your back. You finished this track. You had to know. He had to know they was gonna come after him some way, somehow, or maybe even his family. They was waiting out there for hours for him. And then this brown guy came with his car, and then kind of he messed it up. Said, you need to leave. You need to leave, because if you stay, they'll link us back to your car, because the car they were in, the Altima, that was stolen. It wouldn't um, be traced back to them. And so, in doing all that, they missed McCormick when he went out, and he left and ended up going to that plaza to a temp agency. And then they still decided to do it, even though it was broad daylight, even though they know this probably not a good idea. And then ended up shooting, taking out the guy in broad daylight, and then have to be running, got caught up in a home invasion with Dominic and Leroy. It was ridiculous, and all because of uh, some words. I've been smoking on Willie. Headshot instantly. That's why this case is here. That's why this case is here. Doesn't make any sense. All these lives lost because of some words. I don't know. So the dad say he wanted to do all this because he has smaller kids. I don't know how you're gonna raise those smaller kids now that everybody know you didn't snitch on your son. And of course, Dominique probably, you know, turn state's evidence, because I told him not to do it. I told him not to do it, so I ain't gonna go down for you guys. So it's ridiculous. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.